All right, so now we're gonna do noses today. I went ahead and did this twice because it's one of those things that you guys always seem to ask me to show and demonstrate over and over, which is completely fine. And so what I've done is I went ahead and recorded myself working on a nose from the set of eyes that we worked on the eye video. Then I moved on to just a blank sheet of paper and I did the step-by-step of the nose again. I want you guys to follow along, add a nose to the pair of eyes that we did together, and then we're gonna continue to practice just like we did the eyes. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now that we've got the eyes complete, we need to look at where the nose goes. So the nose is going to be halfway between the eyes and the bottom of the chin. To show you the nose, I'm gonna use my fingers this time. I'm gonna put my fingers even with the eyes and even with the bottom of the nose, and then pull them down, and they should be even with the bottom of the nose and even with the chin. I'll also be happy to show you on a ruler. So again, even with the bottom, even with my eyes, we're gonna do it over here, bottom of my nose. Even with the bottom of my nose, even with my chin. So your nose is halfway between your eyes and the bottom of your chin. So we're gonna make a little mark, and we're gonna test to make sure that is halfway to my nose. And on top of that, because that's the bottom of the nose is halfway, I'm gonna make me a circle. Circle is gonna be about as big as I made my irises or my little center eyeballs right here. That circle represents right here, the tip of your nose. It kind of represents this bulb right here that is the tip of your nose. So it doesn't need to be ginormous, but it can't be teeny tiny either. Be right here in the middle, just about the same size as you put your iris. So I'll make that circle. And then from the sides, I'm gonna draw some guiding lines up and kind of into that eyebrow. Okay. Then I'm gonna draw a line that goes out from the center of the circle. And I'm gonna go from the inside corner of the eye down to create a field goal. Definitely did that one too far in. Okay. Now, this field goal is actually going to get curled to be the sides of the nostril. And from this circle, I'm going to curl up for the bottom of the nostril. I don't want the bottom of the nostril and the sides of the nostril to touch. I need to leave a little bit of splop of skin, a little bit of space. I can take my eraser, kind of clean up where that line was. So I've got both sides. Then I'm going to connect this real lightly to the sides of my nose. And the rest is all values. This is why people get frustrated with noses, is because they really want a nose to be made up of lines, and it's just not. Nose is made up all of value. So what I'm going to do is go along these lines that I've drawn, and I'm going to make them pretty dark. Just start on one side for now, and then I'm going to go, as I get further away, I'm going to let it get lighter and lighter. So thinking about that value scale that we have. It starts dark and gets lighter and lighter. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to darken up those original lines I drew, and then let it get lighter and lighter as it gets further away. Same thing on here, as I kind of want to soften up this edge. Come around in here. I'm going to take my blending stump, or if you don't have a blending stump, you can use your finger and you can use a Q-tip. Smooth that out a little bit. I want to let it be dark kind of around the eyebrow. It's usually darker right under the eyes, so I can go ahead and let that darkness kind of spread. Go ahead and darken up on this left side, around the eyebrow, right underneath the eyes. Then I want to go in with an eraser. That center of the nose is where it comes out the highest, so you really want there to be a highlight there and a highlight on the center of each nostril. And we're just gonna kind of re-blend. Spread that around the skin some. Might darken up under the nostrils just a little bit. And I've got my nose that goes with my eyes. In a minute, in this next video, if you watch, we're gonna go ahead and add mouth dispersion and keep completing our figure. So I'm gonna redraw a nose again. If you are wanting to redo it, you can follow along with me a second time. If you feel confident, you can go ahead and continue drawing noses and practicing on your own. We're gonna start at that line that you should have put wherever that is for the center of the face. Mine's a little crooked, so I'm gonna straighten it up. We're gonna put a circle on top of that line. You do not want this teeny tiny. That circle represents kind of the bulb or the point of your nose. Then on each side, I want you to come up and draw some guiding lines. And those lines are actually going to end up curling into your eyebrows. So we're just going to imagine that we've got two eyes right here. So we're going to curl that into our eyebrow. Then we're going to come across and draw a line that goes across this bulb, this circle. And from the corner, the inside corner of your eye down, you're going to draw two short lines that look like a field goal. Like we're drawing a football field goal. Okay. From the bottom, we're going to curl up to that dashed line or that line across. This is where the bottom of your nostrils is, or the nostrils of the person you're drawing. And we're going to use this line that we drew here to guide us of about where the outside of that nostril is. I'm actually going to let it come down just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to connect to the center part of our nose. And the rest of the nose is all about value. So I'm going to start to shade along this line. And I'm going to start to shade along the lines that I made here. Switch to a little bit darker pencil, or if you don't have a dark pencil, you're just going to press down a little bit harder. And then you're going to let your shading get a little bit lighter as you get away from those lines on both sides. And I usually end up using my finger, or if you have a blending stump works beautifully to soften that area up. Let me just lighten that up on both sides. It's my finger. In this case, I'm going to use a blending stump. So if you've got a blending stump, that works really great. If you don't, your finger, a tissue, a Q-tip, anything along those lines will work just fine. And you want to blend that out so it gets lighter and lighter the further you get away from the center line on both sides. I'm going to go in with an eraser and erase the center. You want that to be the lightest part. I'm going to erase this little dashed line here. It's really all about blending when it comes to that nose. That's why people get so frustrated with drawing noses, because they want to draw a couple lines and they want to say it looks like a nose or it doesn't look like a nose. But to be fair, your nose is not made up of lines. Your nose is made up of values. So you've really got to take the time to blend in those values. Notice I'm doing little circles to make it a little bit more authentic. And I've got the nose. I probably need to lighten that up just a little bit. Do not get discouraged if your first few noses don't come out perfectly. As with so many things in life, practice makes perfect. Keep practicing. You can replay this video as many times as you need to, pause it and rewind it as many times as you need to. I'm also going to give you access to a handout that will walk you through the steps one by one if that's easier for you to follow along. Just keep working and keep believing in yourself. And don't forget to have fun and keep creating.